Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. Today, it is a bit of a different video, a special one for me because I get to put two passions of mine together. So, some of you that have been watching the channel for years now know that maybe when I started the channel, I used to do videos that were not necessarily always related about what was happening on the field. It wasn't always about tactics and what was happening with the players. But I made some more fun, lighthearted videos, and I'm happy to be making one of those again today because, guys, we are in a title fight at the moment, and the tension is so high. We've got to a little bit distract ourselves every once in a while. And I thought, what better way and what better moment than now to do this video? So, the Formula One season is starting this weekend. And I've always wondered what would a Napoli Formula One team look like? What would the car be like? Who would be the drivers? All these things. And I've always wanted to make a video about it, but I never had the skills to design my own Formula One car, even though I was an automotive design engineer in my past life. But I think for this task, a good friend of mine is what I needed, and he delivered. So let's go and meet Miguel Servera. Miguel, ¿qué tal, amigo? ¿Cómo
Hello,
estás?
hello. Bene, thank you, bene, bene.
So
Thank
a little bit of an introduction. Miguel, how many years do we know each other?
We know each other for a very long time. I think I was 12 when we first met. So,
So, guys, this is how long I've been doing this project for, right?
exactly. Working hard. Big fan of Napoli since birth.
So, Miguel, a little bit about
Yes.
yourself. Take it away. What do you do? How can you help us in
Well,
this goal of ours?
well, Domenico called me over one day with a great idea. He called me and he said, "Hey, Miguel, I know you do certain creative projects. If you could give me a hand." So, little introduction. I am Miguel Servera. I am a designer, mainly doing 3D modeling, 3D art related to anything and everything that is or can be creative. I've worked with product, I've worked with objects and even brand identity and other things. So I have, let's say, all the skills that Domenico missed or still not have gathered for him to be creative enough to create the Formula One himself, let's say.
Guys, so I called Miguel and I said, look, let's not make a boring car. Okay, let's make a car that would realistically be on the grid, you know. So it's going to have the Napoli sponsors, it's going to have the Napoli colors, and it's not just about a blue car with a Napoli logo. Like, let's make this something that the crowd would love. Let's give it an identity that, you know, Napoli can really see itself. So Miguel, why don't you show us a bit the inputs that we
Yes,
collected before showing you
yes.
the car?
So we started with the basic elements of what would be Napoli and the team, which would be the jerseys of the new season, details of the brand, the colors, the sponsors, and everything related with their new branding. So I went through all the different elements that the team had, all the sponsors in different colors, in different shapes and branding elements. And with all of this and some of the elements being, for example, the new logo that is more minimalistic and more minimalist and more color coded than before. Their new font and their new, uh, let's say, representation of their typographies, and a bit of what their identity would be looking like. Obviously, the number on the jerseys would be a big reference for the car.
we also looked at the training kits because Napoli this year was doing quite interesting training kits that had a lot of
Yeah.
texture, that had a lot of interesting design features. So we thought about incorporating some of these elements as well, and then obviously a little bit of a sneak preview into some design elements about our identity that we wanted to include as well. So Miguel, why don't you show us now how you put this into a 2D format before
Yes.
it became a 3D masterpiece?
Yes. So this is how basically a car would look like if you separated all the elements and put it flat on the floor. Here you have well, the some things that are easy to recognize, like the wheels, the side parts or the front parts that we will dig into after. But yeah, this is how you basically can or you're allowed to create a texturing surface for a car or a Formula One car.
All these pieces, I mean, I recognize maybe five at most about where they would be on the car. I don't know how much trial and error you must have done to see
Yeah,
where
exactly.
this 2D piece then fits on a 3D car.
I mean, I
But
like Formula One and it's pretty cool, but it's a complicated structure to move around. And once you get the hang of it, I mean, I still probably, in all tr honesty, some elements I'm still not sure where they are. So that's maybe the truth. But yeah, it's once you set up yourself and understand where what goes where, it's a bit easier.
nice. Now let's go, guys, to the grand reveal. Miguel, take it away. Show us in 3D.
Okay, so this is a little small imagery to start with, keeping it simple, and I think you'll have the deliveries after. But this is a first look on to what I reimagine to be the Formula One for Napoli with all the references that Domenico was looking for and how he wanted to represent Napoli and represent its identity.
From this shot, you can tell already there's a Vesuvius on the side, the number 10, the placement of the sponsors, the color schemes. I think it's really cool. Let's go into the different views.
Okay.
So, guys, as you can see, we took inspiration by the little elements in the shirt. For example, the collar, how it has the little white thing. We tried to replicate that onto the car. So you have this above the number 10, we have this white collar that hugs where the pilot would be, so that the pilot would also have the same sort of collared effect that the football players have on the field. And then I love the fact that this white collar, you see how on the shirt it has the white lines on the side and it goes all the way back. Well, we did the same with the car, but when it goes all the way back, it then converts into a really nice picture. So Miguel, turn it around and
Yes.
show this white color how it transforms into the Gulf of Naples, guys. It becomes the outline of Mount Vesuvius with the Gulf. And I think it adds both a lot of identity to this car, but also it gives it speed. No, we said we want this car to look fast. And having these lines, almost like racing lines, I think adds a lot of fluidity and momentum, no, to the car. What do you think, Miguel?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we were looking for, you know. We wanted to follow through with the car's shape and structure, but also get the references of Napoli and the t-shirt and everything. So I think it matches really well.
So I think this is my favorite part of the car. The little collar that's like the T-shirt that then becomes the Vesuvius. But there's other little elements as well. So we talked about, for example, the training
Yes.
shirt that we wanted to add in. So
Yes.
let's show
So
them where we added those elements there.
so for example, when we look at it from a more rear view, we have the transition into the training shirt. And I wanted to have the end part of the car with it because it's almost like you're flying through the particles. Um, and so the reference of the speed and the transition of the original like Napoli colors are transitioning into the training kit, which kind of is a futuristic, more Formula One style of patterns and colors.
Having just a one color car, it's a bit bland, right? But adding this element here, I think it just gives it a next level sort of feel where you have almost a sense of texture, no, as well.
Yes.
So I really love the combination of the two different jerseys. I think it's really really cool. And man, you did some great stuff as well with the placement of the logos, and you picked the right color codes. And talk us through a little bit what you did.
Yeah, in terms of color code, I obviously wanted to have the white and the blues get combined. So the azzurro, like the light blue, obviously is a very important color, but you have now a very big reference to the Napoli, like to that other dark blue. So there's all these references to the color codes of this of the whole brand identity of Napoli, you know.
Yeah, and you
So
guys can see a Napoli talk at the front there.
of course
Obviously,
Napoli Talk is a sponsor for it, if ever.
and there's also another sponsor on the car, no? That my
Well,
designer
well,
took some liberty. This was
I mean, I had to be somewhere, you know.
Miguel Servera
So,
design. Guys, check him out.
yeah,
Some very cool stuff to see.
MiguelServera.com.
And
But
hey,
so there's all the references
you
of,
put it a little bit too much, huh? I see
yeah,
I've counted
sorry.
at least four.
Hey, there's only three. Sorry. There's more Napoli talks, I have to say.
Oh yeah, I see one near the driver's head as well. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's
That's
where the
cool.
camera takes a. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We've got the SSC Napoli on the rear wing. I really love that as
Oh, yeah.
well. And
That's a big reference to.
I like that we didn't do too much, you know, like we
Yeah,
kept it clean,
exactly.
we kept it simple, and but I think it really has the Napoli identity, both of the city with the side view of the
Yeah.
team of what they're wearing out on the field. And man, I mean, if this was on a racetrack, like in real life, I think it would really look cool. Like it would stand out. And it's almost a shame that it will never be made in 3D in real life, because
Never say never.
I think it would be cool, man. A collab between F1 and football teams. I think it would be
Yeah.
super super cool as a special kind of maybe race that they could do. Like get the, I don't know, top
The
16
Champions
teams
League
in the
of the
Champions
Formula.
League, make the cars like that and have them race around. That would be super nice.
Yeah. But
The thing
yeah,
is like, who's going to drive these cars, right?
I mean, that was a good question. I mean, I had the like I want to know who you think you see as let's say the two players that you think would be the best suited to drive your car.
So it's a tough one, right? I'm gonna go with um, so I want this car to be fast. So I'm gonna put the smallest guy on our team. So I'm gonna put Jack Raspadori as one of our drivers. So you know, you put the smallest guy in there, and you hope to go a bit faster. But but then I'm gonna put also a guy that these cars are going at 300 kilometers an hour or 250 miles per hour. So you need someone that's a bit crazy to drive
Yeah.
this car. So I'm thinking of Cholito Simeone. Those guys, that whole family, man, is wild. I think you put him on a car like this, and this guy's gonna have no fear. He's gonna go
Yeah.
into all the little gaps that he can find.
He will
So
make it into curve three, every time.
exactly. But I
Amazing.
mean, definitely, I'm not gonna put Lukaku in there, man. Lukaku wouldn't even fit in this car, man.
I don't
Like,
think Lukaku would be legally allowed in like the shit. Like he doesn't fit properly. Like it's too big of a guy.
but anyways, guys, I hope you like the car. But guys, let me know in the comments what you think. 1 out of 10. For me, it's a 10. It's an incredible car. But let me know what you would have changed, if you would have added different design elements. And guys, I want to say thank you and a huge shout out to Miguel. He put in a lot of hours into this little project. So in the comments, also make sure that you give him lots of love. You check out his website. I'll link it in the description. And Miguel, any final words from you?
Forza Napoli.
There we go. There we go, guys. And see you next time. Forza Napoli sempre.
Take
Ciao.
care.